So here we have the Mossberg 500 in the tactical configuration with the KSG. And for ammunition today, we have some target loads, just because ammunition is at a premium today. You can get these target loads for very cheap, and a lot of them. So we'll be using a lot of those today just to play with the shotguns. And we also got a variety of rifled slugs and double-out buck. And I did bring some 3-inch shells. And we've also got these mini shells from Aguila. Look like these. Some buckshot version and the lead slug version. And I also found these federal ones that are also the shorty shot shells, just kind of like the Aguila ones too. So the only two manufacturers that I know that make them are the Federal and Aguila. Where's the Aguila? So anyway. All right, guys, the moment we've all been waiting for. Will this finally shoot out of the Mossberg 500 after my spring modification? It worked. All right, let's go check out the shot. I'm just curious. That was from 32 yards. So let's see how good it was. So I actually had it at a 100-yard zero. And at 32 yards, I'd say it's pretty good. All right, guys, we're back after the rain and thunderstorms has passed. It's knocked down my targets, but I set them right back up. And right now, let's get right into it again before any more rain comes, right? So we have double-out buck. Let's go ahead and pattern it out of each gun. First off, the KSG. And we'll be doing it at about 10 yards. How do I know it's 10 yards? Well, I have one of these fancy range finders. I use it for hunting, but it's great for at the target range as well. It's the Halo XT600. All right, 10 yards. That's typical for about maybe a home defense situation, 7 to 10 yards. You're not going to be super far away from somebody, and you'll probably be even closer than 10 yards. So, but this kind of gives you a pretty good idea about how the pattern's going to look like. Now, as you can see, there wasn't really much recoil at all. So here we have the Mossberg 500. We'll go ahead and load in our buckshot. As you can see, that also didn't have much recoil as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the targets and see what we got. So as you can see on the right here, we have the KelTec KSG. You see this really big hole here. That's probably more than likely going to be the wad. I don't have any fancy slugs behind the buckshot, so we got the wad here and 3 pellets that we can clearly see on the target. Over here with the Mossberg 500, you also see the big hole there from the wad. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pellets, and these I am not exactly sure what they are. Let's do a couple more shots. Let's go back another, let's do 15 yards to see if we can get a little bit of a wider pattern, okay? To change their mind, let's go 20 yards just to see what we got going on here. So Mossberg 500, roger that, roger that. Okay, again guys, the KSG and the Mossberg 500, all of these 3 were from before, and all of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yep, all 9 pellets kind of in this range. And that's probably about 9 inches from here to here. And for the Mossberg 500, we do see a little bit more pellets, but now I don't know exactly what is what. But again, you don't see the big wad or the big hole anymore. So as you can see, the KSG definitely keeps your shots tighter from a longer distance. The Mossberg 500, you kind of have a little bit less control there with your pellets. I'm just using a regular smooth bore gun with no choke on it, so you're kind of going to see a little bit more of a spread there. But with the KSG and the V6 muzzle brake, you're pretty good, pretty safe inside a home, 20 yards. All right, next video I want to do is I want to maybe just try an accuracy test. Let's try one with a Aguila mini shell and then another with just a other standard rifled slugs. So they're both rifled slugs. Let's try one of each in each gun and see how we do. So I'll be aiming at the black target down there with the green dots, and the left side I'll be aiming for with the Mossberg. The top one maybe the Aguila, the bottom one with the 2 3/4 inch shell. And I'll do the same for the KSG on the right side of the target. And this is going to be at 40 yards. Roger that. Roger that. Not sure if I even hit it. And like I said, the KSG really cycles the mini shells. I do see a mark. So the side on the right will be the KSG. That was pretty accurate. Not sure where my Mossberg shots are. I think we should try it again. Now I missed completely with the trusty old Mossberg 500 from this range, but I don't think I'm that bad of a shot, so let's try it again. If I can hit it with the KSG without issues, should be able to hit it with this. Round 2. This time I will be aiming in the middle of the target. Got one at least. Alright, so I actually finally hit it with the Mossberg 500. The second shot, not sure where it went, could have more likely went over, but at least I got it on the second try. Maybe it was just user error, but I think I'm going to go with the KSG as being more accurate from that range. Hey guys, I really wasn't too happy with that accuracy test, so let's try it again, because now I've got special targets down there, and those are, you know, the typical orange clays that you use for skeet shooting. One's at 10 yards, the other's at 25 yards. So let's go ahead and give them a shot. Same procedure as before. This gun is the most accurate out of both of them. Okay guys, unfortunately the camera died. So what I wanted to say was that KSG basically obliterated that target at 25 yards, no question. The Mossberg 500, maybe I was slightly off, but I still hit it, but I would definitely go for the KSG as far as the better accuracy between the two guns that I have. With the iron sights and the red dot there, co-witness, things are pretty accurate with that. So next up, let's try shooting this life-size target. I just stood in front of it so you kind of can actually see the body size of that target. Fits a guy kind of like me. So I got some extra 3-inch shells of Buckshot. Let's go ahead and shoot this from a distance, maybe about 10 yards again, just kind of see what kind of organs you're going to be hitting if you were ever to be in a, God forbid, a life and death situation inside your home. Alright, Federal double-aught buck 3-inch Magnum at, let's see, pressure max is 1050 bar. I'm not sure the velocity, but we'll go ahead and check that out and give that to you later maybe. First up is the KelTec KSG. I think I'll go ahead and do a headshot just because I know it's got a tighter pattern as we confirmed on the other one. The second shot, I'll aim center mass and we'll take a look and see what each one looks like. We'll also be able to show you what a 3-inch Magnum is like out of KelTec KSG, and we'll show you if it ejects good or not. Headshot, 10 yards. That time it actually ejected. I think I was very forceful with that, so there has been times where once you shoot this and this expands, it's actually longer than 3 inches then. So if you don't eject hard enough, or the elevator will not be able to shove it out of the chamber as it should be. So make sure you're not like short stroking it. Make sure you're rough with the gun. Don't be babying it, and everything will be fine. Alright, next up, let's see how the Mossberg 500 does with the 3-inch double-aught buck at center mass. Tactical reload, eh? Maybe not super fast, but it works. Alright, center mass. Roger that. Roger that. Aiming right at the heart. That one also ejects pretty good. Alright guys, here's the headshot. We do have a couple in the brain, and one just kind of nicking the scalp there. You can see where the skull is, and this would just be the hair, the gray area. But most of it concentrated here in the nose and facial area, but all the shots from 10 yards are in this size. So I don't know what that is, about how big is a human head? 8.5, 10 inches maybe. Now with the Mossberg 500, I was aiming right here at the X. So the shots were a little bit higher. So now I know maybe to aim a little bit lower or something, but in the end, you do see one puncturing the trachea, the esophagus, two actually there. A lot of them over kind of towards the left side, which anatomically speaking, the heart would probably be more over on the left side. This isn't like the most anatomically accurate poster, but you do get a general idea of what vital organs you're going to be hitting. So both are pretty good and tight patterns here. So I'd say they both do pretty good. Maybe the Mossberg is a little bit wider. Again, KSG seems to be a little bit tighter. All right, now let's show you the Aguila mini shells and the Federal one as well, and how they cycle in each of the guns. So I'm going to do 3 rounds each. We got a slug. This is what the Federal looks like. And the Aguila, here you can't really see them. Actually, this is not buckshot. This is birdshot, 8-shot size actually. And then this is the rifled slug from Aguila. First up, KelTec KSG. Got my slug first. And then the trick to loading this quickly when you want to work on the left side of the chamber is kind of hold it right here. And you might be able to see how there's like maybe a slight curve, and that kind of follows the curvature of the round here. So if you just pop it in and lay it like that, it lays in flat, and you just push it in. Move the selector switch. Drop it in, see? Drop it in, push. Gravity will help pull the round down and hold it in place where it needs to go, and you just push it in. So with that, we're ready to go. Roger that. Roger that. See that? The Aguila mini shells work flawlessly in the KelTec KSG. We're going to try the same with the Mossberg 500. Throw the first one in there. Oh, you can see, you put it in carelessly like that, it's going to get caught up in there. So if you really want to use them right, just going to make sure it's forward a little bit. Let the elevator pick it up and slide it in. And I'm going to shoot this just like I normally would the KSG. Rack it hard all the way back, all the way forward. If I get hung up on the first one, then the last shot I will just half stroke it and put it back in. Actually, that worked very good. So, but would I trust it? Probably not, since I have had failures in the past with those feeding in this gun. There is an adapter that you can put in here so that it is configured for a shorter shot shell, and then with that, shouldn't have any problems. KelTec KSG Aguilas, Mossberg 500 Aguilas. Alright guys, the last test, I think we just want to check to see how it reloads with each gun. What are the advantages and disadvantages? I'll try to go as fast as I can. I'm not a pro at it, but I am out here working to get better at it and to practice. So let's go ahead and see how they work. For the Mossberg 500, we'll use this side saddle that's on here. I will load 1 round into the chamber and then simulate the next round here, or next 3 rounds. I'll fill them, finish it all out, and manually load them, okay? So I'll be doing this from the ground because my shot shells are there, and the KSG doesn't have a fancy little side saddle for me to use. It just has 2 tubes that you can fill with 12 gauge rounds. So let's just keep the test simple for both and do them both from the ground, okay? Oops. More practice, more practice. The last one was a good one actually. Also notice that all of the recoil is sending this side saddle kind of forward, so I might have to fix that in a way where it doesn't ride forward. Other than that, wasn't too bad. These are a little bit hard to get the round out in an efficient way because they're so tight and holding the rounds. Maybe I just need to have it sit in there for a long period, kind of maybe stretch it out a little bit or something. All right, let's try the KSG, same thing. And I am using these just standard birdshot. We don't need anything fancy to simulate reloads. They are going to be cheaper. So 1 in the chamber, one in the magazine, and then we'll set 3 of them here. See if I can pop them in there pretty good. All right, roger that, roger that. Oh, oh. You got to fiddle with this elevator. Oops. All right, definitely not the fastest that you could be. With a little bit more practice, you could get good at it, but you do have to realize that the elevator, every time you eject one, is in the down position. And you need that to be all the way up to slide one in there. So what I usually was doing is I took the round, shoved it in, and pushed it into the chamber with my thumb, turned it and closed it. So that's one thing you have to be mindful of the KSG. So it's not going to be the fastest gun at the beginning, but you do have to get used to it, practice it, and know how to use the gun. A lot of times I'm just in the habit of always going forward with this, and that's not good because then it slows you down. You have to reopen the chamber to put another round in. You either have to be really good at knowing when your gun's going to be empty so you can prepare for that, or just acknowledge that, oh, you're out, and quickly release that so you can put another round in. So let's go wrap it up. Alright guys, thanks a lot for joining. If you like this content, please go ahead and subscribe and like, and let me know if you'd like to see anything else. Let's talk first about my Mossberg 500 setup in the tactical home defense situation. So this gun, I like it. It's definitely part of my rotation. You know, if I had to use it for self-defense, I would trust my life for it. Recoil reduction stock by Blackhawk is a great reduction stock. We don't really feel much recoil at all. The only problem that you have with this gun, with my setup, is just that this side saddle kind of slides forward when you have the recoil. So there's got to be a way where I can just go ahead and stick that in there so it doesn't move as much on recoil. Other than that, I'm surprised that the Aguila shells cycled easily with no issues. There has been problems in the past, maybe if you do more rounds, that maybe you short stroke it and something happens where you don't load the next one in. I wouldn't trust this gun in a home defense situation with the Aguila or the short shells by Federal, but for 2 3/4 shells, it does great. Also for 3-inch shells, no issues with the feeding there. So overall, a good compact gun. It's not too much longer than the, actually it's about probably another 8 to 10 inches longer than the KelTec KSG. So even though it is compact, it's still going to stick out a little bit farther for you when you're maneuvering hallways and bedrooms and tight quarters. So that's the Mossberg 500. Now with the KelTec KSG, this is the gun that I prefer, that's always next to my bedside, fully loaded. I put in 22 of my Aguila shells in there. I mean, I still wouldn't want to be shot with them. Even the Buckshot size of the Aguila mini shells, the Buckshot version, still do quite a bit of damage. With this gun, I'm more accurate with it. I love that it's a little bit more compact for easier maneuverability in close quarters, in your house, around hallways, and in bedrooms. And I really like this V6 muzzle brake because it's definitely made the gun safer for me, where it's protected my hands from ever getting close to the muzzle. It's made it easier for follow-up shots. It's more accurate for me, and overall, I like it. Could just use a little bit more practice and training, reloading if need be. But overall, this gun, in my opinion, is the best home defense gun. If you'd like to know more about each gun and how they shoot, or if you want to see other rounds getting shot through it, or if you want to see any other kind of shooting with it, let me know. But I definitely recommend this gun. So far, I like the setup with the fixed sights, with the red dot co-witness. But overall, I'm not going to get rid of this. This is my very first gun. Hard to part with. It's got sentimental value, right? And it's great for hunting. So I definitely do like it for hunting, and also for skeet shooting. It's a lot of fun. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. And I'll do the same for the... we'll also get to check this. Look at that little smoke. I don't know if you guys caught that. Oh yeah. Give me that aromatherapy. Anatomical it just has 2 tubes that you could fill with magazines. One is the Mossberg